I didn't date anyone to get ahead, to get any type of elevation. I worked hard. I literally auditioned for every single job that I ever had. I think I might have had a few where someone called me in and said, hey, can you do this job? But a majority, I would say 90% of the jobs I did, I auditioned for it. I literally went in, proved that I could do it, and got it. If I dated someone in the industry, it's because I wanted to date him. That's that. That is that. And that's why it took me 20 years. Now, I had a good time at one point in time. Absolutely. I think many people that get in Hollywood do. But I baptized and rededicated my life to Christ in 2012. I began my spiritual journey then. By 2014, God has shut everything down. And many of you guys know because I was in church with you guys all the time. And then my life just continued to grow deeper with God. I was walking and actually practicing celibacy in 2014. Sure was. But in that journey and process, that thing is, it's a process. And just because God touches you and comes in your life doesn't mean that you just become perfect overnight. So, I went through different things. But my faith never wavered. And actually, in fact, I'm sorry. My faith was present from the first day. When I did a top model. I know many of you guys don't remember. Some of you guys do remember that amazing episode where Tyra Banks got up with Nigel and the other Twiggy on the stage and they sang "She Don't Want to Be Here" in the church version. Yeah, I mean blasphemy at its best on national TV. As
she don't want to be here, no, she don't. She don't want to be here. No. She don't want to be here, Sarah.
She don't want to be here no more. She don't want to be here. 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 I don't know if she should go. I'm not sure if she should go. She might need us to reach down and lift her up.
you know, and I just sat there trying to read my Bible. And I was really, you know, if you saw I had a tear, I was really in the moment. I was really trying to read the Bible so that I could keep my, you know, my sanctified peace on that show with them girls. It's crazy. You know what I mean? So, I totally forgot about that, guys. I'm going to have to run that clip on this moment if I can. If I can find it and put it in this video. That would be, like, too funny, okay? Like, we need to run it back. We need to run it back so we can all get a good laugh at this moment, right? But yes, baby, they was on the stage acting up. Yes, they was. They was acting up with the fake church. And it's funny because I was a kid, and as a kid, we used to play church all the time, you know, but this is kids. Kids, you can play like that, you know. In our mind, we thought we was really having real church. But these is grown folks that was literally making fun. Like, they literally made fun of God on national TV. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I definitely caught it. And everybody will be judged for everything that they've done, just so you know. So, and no one is exempt. Don't play with God. But anyway, we can dive more into that at another time. Because believe me, we got a lot of time to talk about that. Okay. But anyway, so I know there's some people who have been dying to get some top model interviews out of me. I suppose at some point I will have a wonderful top model interview where I will talk about everything, and I'll have my wonderful transparency of my experience and what happened. I'll have to let God. When God says this is the person, this is the time, this is the moment, then I'll do it. But until then, I'll be waiting on God. But anyway, so back to this moment though, of just explaining my spiritual journey and how I got to where I'm at now, right? And to share with you guys that these things that I've been experiencing have been nothing shy of a spiritual attack for a long time. And it started, as we can see, on Top Model. And my journey has been a continuous journey of how can we pull her from God, yet God's used it. And so yeah, like I said, and then I was walking with God, basically. So my journey, like I said, began 2014. Started pretty much to get to work to the TV, right? My walk from that standpoint, for sure, was I wanted to position myself to be in alignment. I was going to one church as well, a little back end story. I was going to one church in LA. It was big on purpose. So for me, it was about finding my purpose. And then once I got into that position of wanting to find my purpose, then I wanted to find my mate. And so for me, it was imperative for me to get into position and to become a wife. And I wanted to embody that in every way, not just on the physical, but spiritual. So my journey was really just being that. Rededicating my life to Christ, giving my body back to Christ as well, and going through that process. And again, like I said, it's something that doesn't just happen overnight. It can, but in most cases, when it comes to growing, healing, changing, and also breaking something that might be attached to you based off of generationally, maybe there's an addiction, or even just these spirits, right? That these lustful spirits that can attach themselves to you, that can cause you to do these things, right? So it can happen, and in my journey, I broke my celibacy. And the first person that I did connect with was, don't even want to say his name. I don't want to say anybody's names because everybody's getting on my nerves, like to 1000th degree. But it starts with a W and it ends with a K. You figure it out from there. And so after I did that, clearly that just popped off nonsense, because it's been crazy ever since. But so that happened. Following that, my son's father decided to come in and present himself and say things like, get rid of that zero, get yourself a hero. And he was a zero. Yeah, he was a zero too. Okay, we're not gonna go to that because we ain't got that much time, okay? But hey, I'm just transparent and honest, okay? Like, some of y'all have to be honest, whatever. Do whatever you want to like. But this is my moment of being transparent and being honest, okay? Is what it is. So that was my little journey there, right? And so, so one time my son, I locked it down. I locked it down, pretty much throughout my whole pregnancy and then after, So I had a few slip ups after the journey, but
Fix my AC.
I went right back
atcr.com.
into, but yes. And then I would say at least for the last 2-3 years, it's been shut down. Okay, baby girl is just, I don't, I literally barely even date. So, years prior, I was disabled, very bad. Some of you guys might know my story, but at one point I couldn't even make it to the bathroom. I was crawling on my elbows, and tossing myself in the tub and on the toilet. So the last thing we were doing was having sex, and after that, that was quite a bit of time. Definitely, year or 2 years. And then after that, it's just been the healing process, and then, just growing. And I haven't met anybody. I've been dating. I've been mom. I've been building my gardening business. And so that hasn't been happening. And again, I've been dedicated to God. So it just hasn't been happening. So for people to paint anything else, any other picture of me, it's really unfair. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's literally like taking a nun from like Sister Act, right? Like that's, I hate to say it, but that's kind of me. And yet people violated me. Imagine that. Dedicating your life to God and someone violates. Okay. We're gonna change so that I'm trying to keep this light and not too emotional, okay? So sorry if I'm smacking because I'm eating one of these what they call them, like a ropes. It's a strawberry one. I love these as a kid. And I ran across these at the kosher store. They taste even better than the ones when I was younger. So now I'm like on it. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. Why am I doing this to myself? Step away from the sour ring. Okay, so anyway, that's the last one. I'm going to keep my hands off of it. Woo! You got to be a parent to yourself because you the parent now. I'll tell you something. Don't eat no more candy. Yeah, I just had to do it. Ooh, it's getting hot. I'm in Florida. Randomly, the temperature's just out of nowhere. Seem like it just out of nowhere go like up 10 degrees. You see the sweat? Almost busted out of sweat. Woo! Jesus. Whew, I'm back. Had to turn the AC on, had to turn the camera off for a second. So I was sweating. It was hot. But anyway, back to what I was trying to say. But anyway, I just wanted to shut this down, and make it very clear that Monique Satina ain't been on nobody's fans only. I don't have no sugar daddy or daddies. And I'm not a prostitute. Do y'all understand the amount of time is required to run the businesses that I run by myself? I don't have time to be a hoe. I'm just trying to let you know that. I don't have time. Because hoes need time for that. And so, yes, I want to go ahead and say, for those of you who are quite a bit confused about my personality, you know, I am a natural born goofball comedian. So I'm gonna be myself, and even in the midst of this seriousness, because it's very serious. I'm very serious, okay. You know, I'm going to still throw a few jokes to lighten the moment, because we can't all be crying out here now. Can't all be crying. Can't cry throughout the whole video either. Okay? You gotta be strong with me. We're in this together. I wish I could say that, because we're not. And I wouldn't want anyone to be in it. Oh, rock and roll. Hey. Run. Okay, it really wants me to rock out for a second. Hold on. But yes, so that's just a little bit of background on me when it comes to my personality. So, you know, I'm not making light of any of this. Okay, so I do want to get into some of the things that has been done to me. I really would like to not have to share these things with people, because one, it almost feels like a Debbie Downer, right? I don't want to dampen anyone's day with my despair, but I'm at a place and a crossroad where if I don't share these things, I won't get help. 2, if I don't share these things, you guys won't know what's really happening and what's going on. And 3, if I don't share these things, then that leaves room for everyone else to continue to share what they want to share and share things that are not true, and no one ever hears my side of the story. And they're left to be able to paint whatever picture they like of me that's absolutely inaccurate. And unfortunately, many people have fallen victim to this and have prejudged me based off of someone's simple words that are lies. So, here we are, where I get to share my side too. Okay, so I really don't want to be too long, but I feel like this is so much, and I'm praying that this can be condensed down. If not, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just going to apologize in advance. I first want to say, if you feel in your heart at any point in time throughout what I'm talking about, and you feel propelled to sow a seed with me, or even if it's a gift, however, you know, you can do that. There's a link for our GoFundMe that's up. It's on all the social medias, all the sites, so you could go there if you like. But yeah, I'm just throwing that out there, and I'll dive a little deeper into why. Yeah. So So, I think I want to start with me moving to Miami. And I just want to say that actually, I'm going to do this first. When I was in the hospital, whenever, as a few of you guys know, in my journey of after I had my son, I had a doctor that poisoned me, and I had a severe allergic reaction, and I ended up in a mini coma. And a year after that, I stopped being able to walk. That's my whole pretty much backstory and how I created Model's Garden. And how it even came about was me healing myself. And whenever I went through that process of healing myself, well, actually, I went through 2 major wake-up calls in that moment. That was one big tragedy for me that made me see life different. So, basically, what happened for me? My first situation was being in a mini coma. Being in that, waking up, it was the very next year. New Year's had happened, and the first thing that I woke up and realized was that it was a new year. And I said, no one said Happy New Year's to me. And I just, now I think about it, I laugh. I'm like, girl, you was out. People probably did say something to you, but you were out, you know. But what did it for me in that moment? And this is, hopefully this will help you guys all to understand and get a very clear view of why I've operated the way I have lately, and why I've done what I've done in the last few years. These are the conversations now where we're about to go that are going to be in places that don't feel so good. But here's my truth. So I was in a mini coma. I wake up the next year. I realized no one said anything to me as far as a Happy New Year. But what I noticed that hurt the most, I was laying in that bed and turning to the right to where that table is that usually is next to that gurney, and I didn't see anything. I didn't see a get well soon balloon, a card, a flower. I didn't see anything. And that hurt. Especially all the people I was there for. Heck, all the people I went to the hospital for. Whether it was for them getting hurt, them having a baby. But I was there. Even if I lived far out the state, I was still there. Yeah, that was hard. That was hard. It was hard to process that no one cared if I made it. no one cared if I would still be here. It's as if everybody hoped I would not make it, so why waste a few dollars buying something for someone who's not going to wake up? It wasn't like I was in a coma for a year, right? But it didn't take much for them to give up, not care. So that happened, and then I was, of course, sick. I had to go through my healing process, so I had stayed with my aunt. I miss her so much. God bless her soul. She was... Oh, that's a whole nother story. I'll have to get into that one. But she was with me, and we were together. It was beautiful. She couldn't be there because she was disabled, but I did talk to her pretty much every day on the phone. She did care. She was there. She opened up her home and let me stay there so I could heal. And while I was there with her, she's like, try to take care of your business, take care of your stuff. So I needed to file my taxes. And I hadn't filed that year or the year before, so I had to do both of them. So I was going through all my taxes, and I was doing it in the dining room table, and she overheard me crying. And I was just bent over, and I was looking at all my receipts of everything, and I was crying. And she's like, "Girl, why are you in there crying?" And I was just like, wow. But I was like, wow. I couldn't stop crying because all I could see was how many things I did for people. People's rent, I paid, bills, shopping sprees, dinners, lunches, spa dates, lots of spa dates. I felt, I always felt like I needed to take my sisters to the spa, my god sisters, if you're my friend. It's just a lot. People's kids I took care of. I bought clothes for them for school, baby showers. It was hard because all I could see was that I was hurting. I was left basically to die. No one cared and checked on me, sent me anything, yet I did a lot for so many people. And I never did it with any intent because it's just who I am. I just give, and I gave. And it hurt because it's like almost everybody I gave to that I did from my heart couldn't even be there for me when I was literally I literally almost died. That said a lot to me. So after that, COVID happened, and of course everything was shut down, and all that time I was able to just see everybody for who they were. And even in that, I didn't say anything. I didn't let people know that I knew what they did, how they treated me. I overlooked the underhanded comments, the jokes about my weight. I saw it all. I heard it all. Yeah, I did. And this was from family.